Hello and welcome to another MyTunes podcast right here at manxradio.com.
Marc Tyley, the nation station, Manx Radio.
On MyTunes this week, we have gone back to music. A singer-songwriter who I've had the great pleasure of hearing perform many times. His name is Callum Brew, and he's with me in the studio. Callum, thank you for coming along for MyTunes.
Thank you very much for having me.
Oh, it's good to see you there. So, before we get on to a lot of stuff, because there's a hell of a lot of ground to cover, I didn't realise, because having seen you perform in Peel several times, as I said, I had no idea that you've only been playing and writing for about 3 years or so.
Yes. I was writing songs for about 5 years, but I never really had a chance to actually pick up the guitar until April of 2020, when we actually went into the first COVID lockdown. At the time, we never really had anything to do, so I just thought, well, I've got an acoustic guitar, I'll get some guitar lessons, and we got in touch with my very good friend, blues performer John Gregory, and since having these guitar lessons, I've developed quite a good friendship with John. He is really supportive with the songs. The songs that I write, they mean something to me because it's all about my emotions and the way I see the world.
And it's also, I think, fair to say, and we'll talk about this later on in the week, that you, at the age of 11, were identified with Asperger's.
Yes.
And that is related to autism, am I right?
It's Asperger's is a mild form of autism. And
the music has played a huge part in boosting your confidence and bringing you into a different world.
Yes. It's allowed me to see the world in a different perspective.
Thank you, John Gregory, for helping our guest today, Callum Brew, with his music, and so many others too. He's been a guest on here.
Yes.
And he was beautifully laid back about it all, but I know how much difference he's making to a lot of people.
Well, I just want to say as well that at the start of this year, me and John, our friendship has become more stronger because of our love and passion for an American blues performer or artist by the name of Mississippi John Hurt. Just before I left college, I was watching a documentary that features John Hurt and his family, and it talks about how he got introduced to music and kind of where he grew up in Avalon, Mississippi, which is a village really in the middle of nowhere.
Would it be fair to say that his life resonates with you, that John Hurt?
To some extent, yeah.
Yeah. Let's take your first track, and we've got a wonderful week of music, by the way. I'm delighted with the variety. Now, we're going to go to Sam Fender, first of all.
Yes. The reason why I've chosen Sam Fender is because in 2019, I was introduced through the college to Sam Fender. His upbringing is fairly similar to a lot of young men that come from the north of England. It's quite a rough upbringing. He released his first album, Hypersonic Missiles. And with the world today, in the way I see it, there's been talk about Russia using hypersonic missiles to damage Ukraine even more. And I think this song, it does reign some significance.
Dutch kids off balloons in the parking lot. The golden arches illuminate the business park. I eat myself to death, feed the corporate machine. I watch the movies, recite every line and scene. God bless America and all of its allies. I'm not the first to live with wool over my eyes. I am so blissfully unaware of everything. Kids in Gaza are bombed and I'm just out of it. The tensions of the world are rising higher. We're probably due another war with all desire. I'm not smart enough to change a thing. I have no answers, only questions. Don't you ask a thing. Oh, silver tongue suits and cartoons that rule my world.
musician, singer, songwriter, Callum Brew is my MyTunes guest. A gentleman who only started playing a few years ago with the help of John Gregory. John, you see, you get a mention. You probably get one every day. He does train an awful lot of people to get them to play the guitar. And as you said yesterday, Callum, hugely important in your life for getting you writing and playing.
Yeah.
And well done him.
Yeah.
I want to, if I may, go back, because when we were off air, you were saying that going up to secondary school was tricky. There was bullying. There were problems.
Yeah.
And you pretty much retreated into yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, well, when I first started Balcomine, I was bullied quite heavily. An awful lot of name-calling that I'd had. And if it wasn't, surprisingly, for being in theatre, then being in the musical theatre productions at Balcomine, actually, the way I was thinking at the time, it actually took me away from the bullying. So I do have Balcomine Theatre productions. I do give them some gratitude.
So you got support in that area, and found more of you, on stage, and with the others. Was it just you felt different, or did people pick on you because they saw you as different, or what was going on?
The point exactly made. I was different because I wasn't like any of the other students, but it was only until year 9, so that, what year would that be, 2014, I went over to Germany to do a student exchange with, and I still remember the name of the school over in Bavaria, the Wilhelm Gymnasium. It's a middle school over in a small town called Bayreuth. And around that time, Balcomine had a school partnership with this middle school. And that year, the production of Oliver that we did, we were asked by this middle school to go over to Bayreuth to perform a couple of the Oliver numbers. And I was desperate to go because I had never been to Germany at the time.
And did you find that being away from home worrying, or were you just excited, nervous?
100%. I really do remember this. When we got off the plane at Nuremberg Airport, we were on the coach from Nuremberg to Bayreuth. We met up with our exchange partners, and my exchange partner at the time was a girl by the name of Veronica Dutch, and she lived in a small village really in the middle of nowhere. It's a village called Grünbach, which translates to Green River, and her house essentially was the actual entry point to the village. And I remember on the first night that we arrived there, we'd had a small snack, and I got to know the family. When we were settling in for the first proper, sleep time, I was dreadfully homesick. I was awake till about 3 o'clock their time, about 2 a.m. over here, and I was texting my mum and I was saying I want to come home. But if it wasn't for that period of actually pushing myself outside of my comfort zone, because there was a lot of things that I want to prove to myself. One of them was to push myself out of that comfort zone and actually to be able to do things on my own and to enjoy them. If it wasn't for that period of being in a country I've only just learnt about, being surrounded by people I don't know, then I would not have been able to push myself into doing the songwriting.
Thank you. Quite an adventure, Callum. Quite an adventure.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that the positives came shining through. Let us take today's fabulous bit of rock.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yes, Black Sabbath, Neon Nights. It's one of those songs that gets you going. The drums on this song are the reason why it is classed as a heavy metal song.
Let's play it. Let's play it now. Come on, let's have him. Dio's outing with Black Sabbath, Heaven and Hell, the album, Neon Nights. Musician, singer-songwriter Callum Brew is my guest on My Tunes this week. If you're very lucky and you pop down to Peel sometimes, you might see him perform. I have, and it is a treat. It's a treat to see you perform, and
Yeah.
I love the way you perform your own material.
Yeah.
And because I've seen you perform over a few years, I'm going to say it, your material is getting stronger and stronger.
It's quite handy that you actually mentioned that, because this year I'm hoping to release my first ever album. Some of the songs that are going to be on the album, I'm going to pre-release them as singles to help promote the album, because I kind of had that idea of pre-releasing songs as singles for the actual release of the album.
Yeah, good practice. Who are you
When it
working
comes-
with on this project?
I'm working with a chap by the name of James Coyle. He is a producer who's only just started quite recently. He is based on the edge of Ballynard Road, just opposite the garage there. And one of my tracks, which I'm happy to name the title of, is called Astrophobia. It's sounding good. It's got the guitar parts, and it's got my vocal on it. I'm about to go back in there again to record the piano parts with my good friend Nicholas Roberts, who, before I went to John Gregory, he was my other teacher, and I still get along with Nick because he was one of my teachers at Balcomine. I was part of Decavox, his boys' choir, one of his two boys' choirs at the time, and we took part in the guild and all that.
The instrumentation on this album, then, you mentioned piano. Obviously, you'll be on guitar. What else could we expect to hear on there?
Drums, bass, a couple of the songs that are on it I do regularly in the live open mics and in the live gigs. It's called a song called Kylie Run Up, and it's actually inspired off of one of our local bands over here, the Ballags, Mike Wade and Ian Allen. One of their songs, Would I Be the Wiser, I think it's called. My song Kylie Run Up is kind of inspired off of that, and also of a Green Day song as well. So the inspiration will come in quite a traditional modern punk way, but I want the traditional Manx folk elements to be there.
Now, today's choice was a long time before my guest was born. I can say that with some authority. So what has drawn you to this Geordie bunch?
There's a couple of Lindisfarne songs that I quite like. One of them is called Fog on the Tyne, which a lot of people know. But the other one that I quite like is Lady Eleanor.
Neither of which we're playing. But anyway.
But no. Essentially, Run for Home is a story about how they went down to London and they didn't enjoy the life of being in London. So they just decided to run for home. And their home was North Shields, just outside Newcastle.
I've traveled the land with a guitar in my hand and a night ever open for some fun. I've made some mistakes, had my share of the breaks, seen the boys on the make and on the bum. Run for home, run as fast as I can. Whoa, running man, running for home. Run for home, run as fast as I can. Whoa, running man, running for home. I've seen all the frowns on the faces of the clowns and the downs that they take just to be free. And I've seen all the girls and their pretty
the final day of My Tunes with my guest who all this week has been and still is Callum Brew, who's got an album coming out, hopefully later this year. Does the album have a title, Callum?
Yes, it's called That's What I Hear, and it's all about how I share different thoughts, and what I hear is what I abide by.
You said to me just earlier, before we did this, if you weren't playing music, you'd like to be a travel agent.
Yes.
Where did that come from?
Well, it first started out when I was about 4 or 5 years old, because one of my other passions is not just travelling, but darts as well, because I'm a massive darts fan, and I used to be the former Isle of Man Youth #1 player. However, seeing the progression of the PDC darts, particularly in Europe, I want to travel across Europe and just do a documentary about how darts was first found out in Europe and its progression. So I've already got a plan for this. But the travel part of it is linked to the fact that I also have another passion of mine, which is aviation. Watching aviation videos within the last 3 or 4 years, and reflecting on my troubled past, because for people who don't know, I was born with a heart condition, born as a blue child, and when I was a couple of hours old, I was airlifted to the Alder Hey Children's Hospital in Liverpool. And when I was about 3 or 4 years old, I had to go to Northern Ireland to do my operations on my feet, because aside from having the heart condition, I was also born with club feet, so I had to go to Belfast to the Children's Hospital there. So I spent about 6 weeks in the Children's Hospital in Belfast in Northern Ireland, and it was a really, really, really troubled early life.
But now, having come through all that, you'd now like to travel again,
play
darts across Europe, make a documentary, and involving lots of aviation.
Yeah.
Here's to it. It's a plan.
Yeah.
It's a plan.
Yeah.
We're going to wrap up the week with Tom Walker.
Yeah.
Tell me about Tom Walker.
No one really heard anything about Tom Walker up until 2015, 2016. However, I only first heard about Tom Walker in sort of the year after that, 2017, 2018. His music is quite soft. It's quite laid back. Regarding Tom's career, it never used to be like that, because he used to be in a rock band, specifically an indie rock band.
Callum, thank you for your choices. So we're going to hear the final track from Tom Walker, and just remind us, what's it called?
It's called Just You and I.
Callum, it's been a great week. Thank you. And good luck with the new album.
Yes, I will do. If you want to follow me on social media, feel free to do so on Facebook, Instagram, on YouTube as well, CKB Videos. For all of the younger listeners out there, I do have TikTok as well. I may not use it as often, but it is still on there. So any of the younger listeners tuning in, feel free to follow me on the social media channels.
You see, he's already promoting himself beautifully. I can't miss. Callum, thank you.
Thank you.
Let's get drunk. I'll pour my heart up through my mouth. This year's been hard for us, no doubt. Let's raise a glass to a better one. Let all the things that we've overcome bring home to us, 'cause me and you, we can hold this out. Only you understand how I'm feeling now, yeah. And I know I can tell you anything. You won't judge, you're just listening, yeah. 'Cause you're the best thing that ever happened to me. 'Cause my darling, you and I could take over the world, and one step at a time, just you and I, just you and I. 'Cause you're the only one who brings light just like the sun. One step at a time, just you and I, just you and I. Let's get drunk, we'll reminisce about the days we were broke, not getting paid, and taking trips at that weekend when I would drive down to see her, and we would paint the town. Too many shots I'd be passing out, 'cause I could never keep up. words, now I'm puking open. I know I can tell you anything. You won't judge, you're just listening. Yeah, 'cause you're the best thing that ever happened to me. 'Cause my darling, you and I could take over the world, one step at a time, just you and I, just you and I. 'Cause you're the only one who brings light just like the sun, one step at a time, just you and I, just you and I. I'm tired of chasing paper, staring at this screen, been saving up for weeks now, just to get to you, my dear. And though you're far from my home, this ain't no weekend bar. You know my heart grows fonder. Must be city love, 'cause my darling, you and I take over the world, one step at a time, just you and I. 'Cause my darling, you and I take over the world, one step at a time, just you and I, just you and I. 'Cause you're the only one who brings light just like the sun, one step at a time, just you and I. Yeah, one step at a time, just you and I. Yeah, one step at a time, just you and I.
Thank you, Callum, for a great week on My Tunes. Tom Walker, Just You and I, finishing off his My Tunes selection. I'm Marc Tyley. Join me if you can for the morning show, the Shaw Morning Show, 9:30 to 12, Monday to Friday. And don't forget, there's more My Tunes podcasts popping up here every week.